Here is another system of equations for us to solve. We can start off by setting these equal to each other. Alright, now let's form like denominators so we can cancel the denominators out. The first thing to do towards getting like denominators is let's factor this denominator to see what we've got. Okay, so x squared, that's going to be x times x. 18. 18 is either going to be 3 times 6 or 2 times 9 or 1 times 18. Let's go with the 3 times 6 option because I can see a 9 coming there. 3 times 6. Now inner plus outer must equal middle. Inner I have 3x, outer I have 6x. I need a middle of -9. So to get a -9, both of these will need to be negative. And a negative times negative is a positive for the positive 18. Okay, so now let's go ahead and get our like denominators going. Well, they both have x minus 6 in common already, but the left denominator also has x minus 3. So I'm going to have to put in an x minus 3. I can only do that if I do the same thing in the numerator. Alright, now I have like denominators, so I can cancel these denominators out. However, let's take a moment and recognize the excluded values. Because of the x minus 3, x cannot equal 3. Because of the x minus 6, x cannot equal 6. So let's just make sure that none of our solutions turn out to be these. So now we can cancel out our like denominators. So what we have left is x minus 4 equals, I'm going to distribute this, so that'll be x squared minus 3x. Let's get 0 on one side over here, so I'm going to subtract x from both sides, and I'm going to add 4 to both sides. So that's going to give me 0 is equal to x squared minus 4x plus 4. Probably this will factor. If it ever doesn't factor, you will need to use the quadratic formula. X squared is x times x. 4 is either going to be 2 times 2 or 1 times 4. Let's try this first. Inner plus outer must equal middle. Inner I have 2x, outer I have 2x. To get -4, both of these would need to be negative, which would mean both of these would be negative. A negative times negative is a positive for the positive 4, so this is working out. Normally I would set both of these equal to 0 and solve. These are identical, so I really only need to solve one. Whichever one you look at, if you add 2 to both sides, you get x equals 2. Now watch out. This is not my final answer. I also need y values. So, I don't know why I made this table so big. We have x's and we have y's. I only have one x value though, so I don't need a big, huge table. Our x value is 2. We need the y value to go with it. We can find the y value by using one of these two equations. Might as well use the simpler looking one, which is x over x minus 6. Now this is simple enough that we could just plug it in manually. If I put 2 in for these x's, that would be 2 over 2 minus 6. Alright, 2 minus 6 is -4, and that equals -1/2 if you reduce. Okay, so that means the solution is 2 comma negative 1/2. Alright, so by the way, you could have used a calculator if you needed to by typing in that equation of x over x minus 6 I like ask x mode, and evaluate at an x value of 2. And then there's your negative 1/2 that way as well.